What if I told you stress isn't just in your mind, it's quietly damaging your brain, your heart, and even your gut right now? And the worst part? Most people don't even realize it until it's too late. Stress has a reputation for being something vague and psychological, a feeling, a mood, something that lives in your thoughts. But in reality, stress is one of the most physical experiences your body can go through. It is a full-body biological event, a chain reaction that begins in the brain and ripples outward, touching every organ, every system, and every cell. What we call burnout is not just emotional exhaustion, it is the cumulative effect of prolonged stress on the body, driven largely by hormones like cortisol and processes like inflammation. To understand recovery, you first have to understand what stress is really doing beneath the surface. When you encounter stress, whether it's a looming deadline, a conflict, financial pressure, or even constant overthinking, your brain interprets it as a potential threat. This activates a system known as the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Within seconds, your body begins releasing stress hormones, particularly cortisol and adrenaline. This response is ancient. It evolved to help humans survive immediate danger, like escaping predators. In that context, stress was short-lived. You ran, you fought, or you escaped, and then your body returned to normal. But modern stress doesn't work that way. It lingers, it repeats, it becomes chronic. Cortisol, often misunderstood as a bad hormone, is actually essential for survival. In small, controlled bursts, it helps regulate energy, blood pressure, and even inflammation. It ensures that your body has enough fuel to respond to challenges. But the problem arises when cortisol is released too often or for too long. Instead of helping, it begins to disrupt the very systems it was meant to protect. It's like leaving a car engine running at full speed all day. It will eventually wear down. One of the first places stress makes its mark is the brain. Initially, cortisol sharpens your focus. You become alert, quick thinking, and ready to act. But over time, chronic exposure to cortisol begins to impair brain function. Memory becomes less reliable, concentration weakens, decision-making becomes harder. This is partly because stress affects areas like the hippocampus, which is involved in memory, and the prefrontal cortex, which handles complex thinking and emotional regulation. At the same time, the amygdala, the brain's fear center, becomes more active. This means you become more reactive, more anxious, and less able to calm yourself down. What starts as heightened awareness turns into mental fatigue and brain fog. The heart also pays a heavy price for prolonged stress. Each time your body enters a stress response, your heart rate increases and your blood vessels constrict. This is useful in emergencies, but when it happens repeatedly, it creates constant pressure on the cardiovascular system. Over time, this can lead to high blood pressure, damage to blood vessels, and an increased risk of heart disease. It's as if your heart is being asked to sprint all day, every day, without rest. Eventually, it begins to struggle. The immune system, surprisingly, is both suppressed and overstimulated by stress. In the short term, cortisol actually boosts certain immune responses, preparing the body to deal with injury or infection. But with chronic stress, the immune system becomes dysregulated. Some aspects weaken, making you more vulnerable to infections, while others become overactive, leading to chronic inflammation. This dual effect is one of the most confusing and dangerous aspects of stress. You might find yourself getting sick more often, while also experiencing unexplained aches, fatigue, or inflammatory conditions. Inflammation is where the story becomes particularly important. Normally, inflammation is the body's way of healing. It's a protective response to injury or infection. But under chronic stress, inflammation becomes persistent and low-grade, spreading quietly throughout the body. Stress triggers the release of molecules called cytokines, which promote inflammation. At the same time, prolonged exposure to cortisol can make the body less responsive to its anti-inflammatory effects. This creates a situation where inflammation is no longer controlled. It becomes a slow-burning fire, damaging tissues over time and contributing to a wide range of health problems, from cardiovascular disease to mental health disorders.
The digestive system is another major target of stress. The gut and the brain are closely connected through what is often called the gut-brain axis. When you are stressed, your body diverts energy away from digestion, slowing it down. This can lead to symptoms like bloating, discomfort, or irregular bowel movements. Over time, stress can alter the balance of bacteria in the gut, weaken the gut lining, and increase inflammation in the digestive tract. This is why chronic stress is often linked to conditions like irritable bowel syndrome. It's not just in your head. Your gut is physically responding to your stress levels.
Muscles and bones are not spared either. Cortisol promotes a breakdown process in the body, known as catabolism, where tissues are broken down to release energy. While this is useful in short bursts, chronic stress leads to muscle tension, weakness, and even loss of muscle mass over time. Bone density can also decrease, increasing the risk of injury. Many people carry stress physically in their bodies, experiencing tight shoulders, headaches, or chronic pain. These are not random symptoms. They are the physical imprint of prolonged stress.
Sleep is another critical component. During sleep, the body repairs itself. Cortisol levels follow a natural rhythm, rising in the morning and falling at night. Chronic stress disrupts this rhythm, but consistent, high-quality sleep can help restore it. Without adequate sleep, the body remains in a stressed state, making recovery much more difficult. Nutrition also plays a key role. A balanced diet supports the immune system and helps reduce inflammation. Whole foods, rich in nutrients, provide the building blocks the body needs to repair itself. While no single food can eliminate stress, consistent, healthy eating patterns can support recovery. Movement is important, but it needs to be approached carefully. While exercise can reduce stress, too much intensity can add to the burden on the body.
Mental recovery is just as important as physical recovery. Reducing cognitive load, limiting overthinking, constant stimulation, and information overload gives the brain a chance to rest. Setting boundaries, taking breaks from screens, and allowing for moments of quiet can help restore mental clarity. Finally, time is an essential factor. Burnout does not develop overnight, and it does not resolve overnight. The body needs time to recalibrate, to repair, and to rebuild resilience. Patience is a crucial part of the recovery process. For more information, hit that subscribe button because this is information you can't afford to miss.